Welcome, my divine feminine collective. I'm doing another twin flame channel message from your DM. I'm going to channel this message for you, tap into their energy, and I'm going to bring you this message. I'm feeling that the divine masculine that I'm channeling for is feeling a sense of confidence of late, and it's new to them. They've missed feeling this confident. So, I'm going to tap right into it and I'm going to channel their energy and what it is they're wanting to say to you. So I will be speaking to you as if it were them. Allow yourself to center yourself, tap into your intuition, and ask your guides and keepers to guide you. This is a sacred space. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this message. My divine feminine, I know you've been waiting to hear from me. And even though my actions show otherwise, there's so much that I want to say to you. And just the thought of that makes me feel overwhelmed. And this is what happens to me. I find myself stumbling over my words and they don't make sense anymore. So I let them go. I push them aside. But something's different. Something's changed for me all of a sudden. I feel a new energy. It's like the sky has opened somehow and I can breathe again. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but that's how it feels. Do you know that I've been watching you? Sometimes I go into meditation and I wonder if I'm going to meet you there. And when I don't, I feel disappointed. These are things I never tell anyone. I don't even give it much thought, after and when it's done. I don't even really recognize the emotion. To be honest with you, for a long time, I just couldn't allow myself to be with the emotions that came up associated with you. I knew I'd find myself going down a rabbit hole and I didn't want to get lost. But I've been watching you. I can't help myself. I look at the pictures I have of you. I still have them. And I watch your social media. I watch you. I want to see how you're doing, and I hope that you're doing well. I'm always hoping that you do well. And then when I see you, there's this pang, this ache in my chest. Because it's almost like I wasn't hoping, like deep down, I was really hoping that you were not doing so well without me. I haven't been able to acknowledge my feelings. But the truth is, it's obvious. You don't have to be deeply conscious or awakened or a scientist to know that when somebody thinks of someone constantly and looks at their pictures and feels deep emotion with anything associated with that person, that they feel something deep for them. I'm finally starting to accept that when it comes to you. I wonder if you know that I'm not the bad guy that I I believe you think I am because of my actions. That my intentions were really, really sincere towards you. I never ever meant to do anything to harm you. And it worries me because I care about what you think, I care about how you see me. I really always liked the way you looked at me. I felt like I was someone when you looked at me. And I know that my actions have caused that to change. But I really wanted to believe that no matter what I do, you'd never stop looking at me in that way. And realizing what my actions have done. Don't get me wrong, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. I know that I sabotaged the connection and I pushed you away. It doesn't make any sense because it's like I thought I was going to do these things and you would not be affected by it. I would ruin things for me and put myself out of the position of possibly getting hurt down the line, and I sabotage things because of the pressure that I felt it put on me, and I thought it would create space, these distractions, me creating issues and problems for me to solve so I don't actually have to get down to the nitty gritty of my crap. I didn't think about how it would affect you. I'm really ashamed to say that because it just shows what a shitty person I am. You know when I really miss you? When I miss you so much that I'm afraid I'm going to blurt it out to other people and I don't want them to know. Or I'm afraid that I'm going to burst. I go to nature. I go where I can find trees and I find you in them. It's weird, but it's like each and every tree knows you. They know your soul. They know how beautiful you are. And they acknowledge what I know about you. I have these secret conversations with the trees about how much I miss you. I don't have to say anything, they just know. I said to you, and I behaved as though between you and I there was no connection, you know. And I had these responsibilities and these other places that I needed to close out. These other commitments that I needed to completely close off because I knew I couldn't move towards you without closing them off. And I behaved as though there was no commitment between us. That wasn't true. It doesn't matter how much I've tried to forget, to disconnect from this, my soul would keep saying that there is a commitment between our souls. And my actions won't change that. This is a whole new world for me, you know. This connection has opened me up to things that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know. I always thought that my mind was my most powerful asset. My mind is so weak in comparison to to the soul connection and to what it has brought to life inside of me. I can't think myself out of this. Doesn't matter how much distraction I search for, doesn't matter how I keep myself busy, everything comes back to you. And yet, at the end of every day, you would still be so far out of reach. I know that we're drawing nearer and nearer together. I know that something is going to happen for a different outcome. I know that at the end of the day, somehow things are going to work out. And at the same time, I know that I've robbed myself and you of so much. And what scares me is I don't know how to make that right. Do you know what it means to be with me? There's so much work. I feel like a project. And you don't deserve a project. And you can have anyone. This is what really holds me back. If I step forward and reach out for the prize, and they allow me to take it into my grasp, and for a moment I think, oh, I've got it, it's mine. And then somebody comes and says, no, this is not yours. What made you think you can have this, and takes it away from me to give it to somebody else that's more worthy? I don't want to go through that. And I feel like that is inevitable if I come towards you, because I don't feel that I'm good enough for you. And at the same time, I still find myself continually working towards that. It's like my mind says one thing and there's this other part of me that does something completely different. We had good times. We had so much laughter. We were beautiful together. And because of my actions, caused for that to be severed. I cut things out. Don't know what I was thinking I'm going to achieve, because I ended up with nothing. Nothing had an opportunity to grow. I didn't give it a chance. And it made me realize how much work I needed to do. And I mean, I knew I needed to do a lot of work. You know, a lot of people, all those people around me, have so much to say. Had so much to say about what happened with us. I had a lot to say. And there's a lot of noise around it. But the truth is, the only voice that I hear is all the signs and synchronicities and the conversation beneath the conversation that always echoes of the truth and of what you are. There is a wisdom that finds me no matter where I go, and I have to listen. And as I said, I feel like there's a new strength. There's a new energy coming about. I see you doing well. I mean, that's to be expected. You've always been so strong. Know who you are and what you want. I'm still not in the place that I want to be financially. And you know, I told you that I wanted to get that sorted out before I come towards you. And somehow even that shifted for me. I'm not as set in my opinion of what things should look like. I miss our conversations. I miss our laughs. I miss the fun we had. You know, it's like the light just went out of my life when you left. I want to be better. I want to manage my life better. I want to stop juggling so many things. I want to stop carrying around unnecessary stuff. I just want space for you. And it keeps coming back to what you told me, my relationship with myself, how I treat myself. I liked who I was when I was around you. I felt every bit the person that I always wanted to be. I really liked that. And I wondered if maybe I was just pretending really well and I could hold it up for a while, but I'm starting to think maybe that was just me when I was with you. This makes me want to try again. I want to be that person. And somehow you managed to bring that out in me. I wanted to come towards you and tell you this so many times. And then all these thoughts, these frightening thoughts come up, and I think myself out of it. I talk myself out of it, and I feel terrible afterwards. And then I say to myself, I'm never doing that again. I'm not even going to think about coming towards you, because where it goes is dark. I'm going ahead with cancelling contracts. I'm going ahead with getting the paperwork finalized for me to get out of the situation. And I want to make things right with you. It's been long, you know, and I realize that I've made my spiritual process, I've dragged it out longer than it needed to be. I want to come in strong. I want to come in sure. And as I said, I'm feeling a lot better within myself. I still feel the need to be in control, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. And I need for you to know that I'm not completely at a place where I feel safe enough in my life, within myself, to release all control. And I feel that I should have some level of control in my life. So I'm having a lot of thoughts around that. But you are the most beautiful aspect of love and relationship that I've ever found in my life experience. I feel, when I think about being with you, I feel like if the world is perfect and nothing could ever be wrong. I find myself when thinking about you more when the world goes quiet, and it's not always great thoughts sometimes. Sometimes I'm wrestling with a lot with other things, but I do wonder if you sometimes think of me when the world goes quiet. Do you miss me? Do you still think that I'm your perfect match? Or has that changed after my behavior? Sometimes I think that you would welcome me back and that you would be open to embracing me. And then I remember that day and how angry you were. And I remember and I think about this, how it just seemed like you were done. You didn't look at me like I was weak and codependent and like I was an addict. You didn't look at me that way. You looked at me like I was whole. And somehow I've started looking at myself that way more. I'm working on myself. I'm working on things. I'm working on things constantly, and I'm not going to give up. Because I accept that no matter how hard I try, I can't shift my focus. No matter how hard I try, I can't look away from what this is. And I keep getting signs and synchronicities, and I keep having random conversations. I mean, it starts with one thing. I'm speaking to someone, trying to inspire them, and the next minute the conversation goes and they're saying things to me, and I almost feel like this person knows my situation. It's as if spirit is constantly speaking through them. I know that I was very set in believing things have to have a certain outcome. I was very set in believing that things need to look a certain way. I didn't like the idea that somebody knows more than me. I wanted to lean on my own understanding. I was committed to old belief systems and paradigms that have been passed down, and a lot of that has died. I've gone through a few ego deaths. And as I said before, I knew exactly what I was doing. So I don't feel sorry for myself. I know that I was sneaky. I know that I was sneaky. I was still trying to keep doors open because I was afraid, because of my insecurities. And I was still holding on to a false sense of commitment, or a false sense of family, or a false sense of home. But as I said, no matter what I do, the communication from spirit is clear about what is real and what is not. And I can only bullshit myself so much. I want to tell you all these things. And for now, I keep having the conversation in my head. I keep having it telepathically, and I know and I trust that you will hear it. I'm gaining new perspective every day, every single day. I'm still wrestling with myself though, and I don't want to come in towards you with that energy of one day I'm taking a step forward and one day I'm taking a step back, because that's how I feel within myself. That's how I felt for a while, and that's what's a little bit scary. Me not talking to you, me pulling back, me going quiet, me doing the ghosting thing, me doing all of that. I need you to know, and I'm sure you do because you're so wise, but that was more about me than you. I knew that the situation was emotionally unfulfilling for you. I know what that's like because I allowed myself to be in that kind of situation for a long time. I didn't want to do that to you. And I knew that you just wouldn't put up with it anyway, that you'd walk away. And it was just easier for me to do it for you, than me experience you doing it. I know that I was being non-committal and all over the show with my energy. Um, Trying to manipulate things. Because I was so desperate not to be manipulated, I was trying to manipulate things. When deep down, all I wanted to do was take that leap of faith towards you. All I wanted to do was take that leap of faith. My fears and my insecurities wouldn't allow me to. I believe because I made the decision a while ago that it's better for me to be single, and so I tried to maintain that. But what I really did was I broke my heart. I don't need to tell you this, but the path I chose was not rosy. I know you know things. You're very gifted, and you are so, so wise. The path I chose was not rosy, and it led me down dark, dark places, and it brought me to many, many tears. But the truth was, whenever I found myself there, being triggered into tears, being triggered into grief, it was about what I'd left behind, about what I walked away from. It wasn't about where I found myself, it was more about what I walked away from. Your strength intimidated me. You deserve to have someone that can take care of you and that can you can have equal give and take with. Somebody that is worthy of you. I now know that in my attempt to dictate my own decisions and make my own decisions, I was really just being allowing myself to be manipulated by my own fears and insecurities, if that makes sense. So I wasn't really making my decision from a place of clarity anyway. A lot of things have fallen even more apart since the last time we spoke. It was good. Lots of ego deaths, lots of back and forth, but getting more and more clear on my heartache, getting more and more clear on what the problem is. I've never given myself the chance to heal fully. I feel so much emotion for you. And with time, well, I believe at least with time, emotions should dissipate, they should get less. But every time I find myself reaching new levels of emotional well being, even in small doses, for me, those are victories. Somehow they always lead back to you. I know it's only a matter of time that I tell you these things and that we have this conversation face to face. Because at the end of the day, when I'm ready, when my foundation's ready and I'm ready to start building, you're the one that I want to build with. It's the only thing that makes sense. And I do see us coming back together. I'm hoping for that. Because I'm tired of being out in the cold. It doesn't matter where I turn, it always feels like I'm out in the cold because it's not with you. Thank you for making me feel loved and cared for making me feel like I matter, even when I didn't make it easy for you. Thank you for giving me a sense of what home feels like, even though I didn't deserve it. There's a lot that I didn't express to you and I didn't tell you and I held from you, which I should have told you. You deserve to know. I feel you deserve to know how I see you. And I believe I'll be able to tell you that someday soon. I just need to close these cycles because I know I can't come towards you with anything less. And when I do reach out, it's probably going to be light. I'm going to try and make it light, although inside it's not going to be light because I'm scared. I've tried to express everything in the best way that I can, and I'm not even sure, even in this moment, I started off really confident, and even in this moment I'm wondering if anything I'm saying makes sense to you, but I really hope it does. I miss you and I hope that we can talk soon.